I'd like to use this platform to commend African
And about
governments,
start.
the African Union Commission, development partners, and the national
The live and
commission
lesson number.
for the numerous interventions towards the development of young people in Africa, and also pursuing resources are mobilized to consciously train and develop the leadership.
Good morning and welcome to AAU TV. Today we are covering live the African Youth Summit. And today's program is going to last for 3 days, from the 18th to the 20th of April. Among today's dignitaries are the Secretary General to the Association of African Universities, the Professor Etienne Ihuan Ehile, a representative from the Chinese Embassy, and the Deputy Minister Patricia Apieje from the Ministry of Innovation, Science, Technology, and Environment. Today's correspondents are Nana Ismambasam and Schneider Apia Ankuma.
Thank you very much. As she mentioned, I am Ankuma Schneider Kweku here at the AAU Secretariat. Today, we are bringing to you a live coverage of the African Youth Summit that is happening live here at the AAU Secretariat, Accra. Today, we are going to go through a list of activities here at the AAU. The first on the line, we're going to be having the opening ceremony that is happening live right now as we speak at the Secretariat. And also, after the opening ceremony, we will be bringing you a live interview of the dignitaries that are present here at the AAU. From that, we'll also bring you a streaming of the first panel discussion that we're going to be having here at the AAU. And then from that, we'll also bring you another live stream of the second panel discussion. In between, we'll be bringing you interviews with the participants here at the AAU Secretariat. Until then, keep updated by following us on AAU. Okay, from here, we'll be going back inside to join the event as it happens live here at the Secretariat. Thank you very much.
The Secretary General, Professor Etienne.
We didn't even do like how, we didn't even say it's organized by Base Africa and then we'll say it later.
Mr. Peter Koji, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It's an honor for me to welcome you all again to the African Youth Summit, organized by the Association of African Universities in collaboration with Idea Factor and Base Africa. Idea Factor has been committed to changing the course of sensitizing the youth on issues of leadership, governance, and entrepreneurship in order to raise world-class political and business leaders. This has been done mainly through organizing seminars and training programs on various university campuses with a vision of grooming tomorrow's leaders today. The theme for this year's conference, Charting the Course for the Next Generation, reflects this vision, and the presence of so many key players, leaders, and experts here today attests to the significance of the issues we are here to discuss. It is baffling that the continent of Africa, with all its resources, lags behind in socioeconomic growth and development, probably due to poor leadership. Our greatest plight is that upon the great minds available on our dear continent of Africa, there are little support systems to nurture these minds. It is high time we change the narrative of Africa. That narrative where the African is seen as brutish and poor must be buried in the past. It is time to rise above the circumstances of our birth and assert our rightful place in the world by cherishing our values of integrity, accountability, and selflessness in our governance, politics, and business environments. It is only by this we can be true citizens. Citizens, not subjects. Citizens, not spectators. Thank you, and I hope we have a successful summit.
Thank you very much, Captain. Please, you can do better. All right. Kato would like to give the next opportunity to Mr. Peter Koji, Secretary General, All African Students Union, and then the patron for Idea Factor. Please put your hands together for the patron of Idea Factor.
All right, thank you very much. The Honorable Deputy Minister, Professor Etienne Ehile, Secretary General, AAU. Sometimes I mix the AAU and AASU. Dr. Makuku, and then my dear fellow participants at the summit. I am delighted to be here to say a few words, just as those who've already said before me. And I'd want to start by saying good afternoon to you all. When they approached me to run a program like this, I thought that it was a very good idea. And before then, we discussed some opportunities in this year that we thought should be able to bring students to the forefront of a lot of what we call the Agenda 2063. And a lot more of the times, those aspirations for the people who must drive them in the next couple of years themselves are not very privy to the content of what those aspirations entail. And so when Parkwesi and then the idea factor came up, I said, well, it was a very good idea. And I thought that, look, I mean, in the next couple of years, Professor Etienne Ehile, our Honorable Minister, Dr. Makuku would no longer be running the show. Those who be running the show are those who are seated here. And so it does matter that those who are seated here get the context of what those aspirations are. And if we're going to do that, it means that we need to create a lot more fora like this to discuss it, to look at the centerpiece, where we fit into that paradigm, and what we need to do to be able to drive it. So this forum is just the beginning of a series of them that will be held to be able to get the youth to take a focal role in what they really should be doing today at present and what in the future it holds for us. 2063 looks very far, but when we're growing, they said Ghana Vision 2020. But 2020 today looks like just 2 years more and we're in 2020. Now, if you look at what the Ghana Vision 2020 entailed and what we're supposed to do, and with 2 years more to go, I don't know what it becomes. But that is because if it's not people-driven and it's not people-centered, the very focal group of people don't drive it, it will just remain, footnotes on the pages of history. So today, if we gather here, it is to begin those discourses that put us at the center and help us to drive them. So I hope that we're able to have a very fruitful discussion, and I also hope that I'm able to share my thoughts on a couple of the issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Please, you can do better. Okay, so we'd like to take our final opening remark, like keynote address from our mommy, yes, Honorable Patricia Apiaje, Deputy Minister, Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and she's also the Honorable Minister of Parliament for Asoka constituency. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Captain, you mentioned a raw constituency.
Thank you very much, young man. Mr. Chairman, Professor Etienne Ehile, Secretary General of African Association of Universities, distinguished panelists and distinguished students, distinguished guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I must say that I'm highly delighted to be here today, and even so, to share my thoughts on the theme for the program, charting the course for the next generation. My warmest greetings from the Minister of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. It actually gives me so much satisfaction and hope to see the future generation showing enthusiasm and concern for their future and the role they have to play in building our nation. I think you should congratulate yourselves. Especially those of you who have been able to make it to this program. Currently, in Ghana, it is estimated that the Ghana's population is approximately about 28 million, with approximate 38% between the ages of 0 to 14 years, 18.63% between the ages of 15 to 24 years. 34.14% between the ages of 25 and 54, 25 to 54 years. And then 9.2% above the ages of 54. You definitely know that this is not our age. It is your age. That should start thinking about Ghana. This shows that Ghana has had a very young population, with about 50% of the total population between the ages of 0 to 24 years, and with a growth rate of 2.26 per annum. Many view such rapid population growth as disadvantageous due to the effect on society and the economy. Issues such as pressure on natural resources and services such as healthcare, education, sanitation, transportation are always dominant in densely populated places. However, I believe this growth provides great opportunities for us to make a difference and cause changes that foster innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. Innovation is the answer to stagnation. The creation of products and services that makes life better than we are experiencing at the moment. Economists have determined that innovation and technical change has a strong influence on economic growth in the world. As my minister will put it, poverty gap is a technological gap. Currently, companies are trying to ameliorate their technologies to stay ahead. A strong indicator of the economic growth through innovation lies in investing in research and development. Is it therefore surprising when the current president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has made a strong commitment to ensure that R&D forms about 1% of GDP. There's nowhere in the African country that has achieved that. So for that commitment alone, and for our future realization that we have actually committed that amount, it's something that we need to laud. It's an encouragement. An example is the phases through which the telephone has advanced over the past years. Through innovation, this invention has become more portable and useful. Another example is the phases through which digital storage devices such as flash drives have transitioned. Now you can handle a terabit of storage in your hand, as compared to when a much smaller size used to fill up a whole room. Mr. Chairman, from my perspective, innovation is the application of better solutions that best meet the demand of consumers and have less effect on the environment. We are talking about climate-smart innovations. We can enhance economic growth and sustainable development while ensuring that our natural resources are protected, a basis for our well-being. Climate-smart innovation and the related process of creative resource exploitation will also lead to new designs, new entrepreneurial ideas, and better business models. This will contribute to establishment of new sustainable market and eventually the creation of new jobs. To cite few examples of climate smart innovations, I have interacted with a number of remarkable young climate smart innovators and entrepreneurs since I commenced work with the Ghana Climate Innovation Center at Ashesi University, which is based on climate resilient development. I met a young engineer who doubles as the co-founder of Moringa Connect, a company that develops products such as teas, body lotions, and essential oils with moringa seeds and leaves. They currently engage about 2,500 plus small-scale farmers throughout rural communities in Ghana by helping kick-start their moringa farms, provide farmers with guaranteed market for what was once a nuisance tree in their farms and backyard, and also helping in afforestation. Another example is the Ghana Bamboo Bites initiative. This is a social enterprise that addresses climate change, poverty, rural-urban migration, and youth and unemployment by creating jobs for young people, especially women, through the building of high-quality bamboo bicycles. The success story of these innovators and entrepreneurs are great examples of individuals who were ready and willing to be mentored and directed. In all these examples, what we need to identify is the economic opportunities along the value chain. And that is the kind of eye that I will prompt you as young students. You need to develop that eye. And in developing that eye, I know that it is an issue of believing in yourself that you can do something for yourself and not only rely on the patents that people offer you through so many means of soliciting. I think we have allowed ourselves to limit our skills and ideas by putting financial impediments in the way of entrepreneur advancement. The purpose solution that lead to many benefits for them and the people around them. My dear students, it is critical to continue learning and adding value to your skill set. As you grow and advance with your individual careers as young individuals, therefore, it is very vital for mentors to serve as a continuing source of guidance to you as aspiring professionals. You don't possess nearly as much knowledge or experience as your mentors, and you certainly don't have the skills you would need to become an expert in your chosen field. What you possess is a healthy understanding of what is current with emerging technologies and the latest gadgets out on the market. The emphasis is still coming out that you need to interrogate your surroundings, your environment. You need to interrogate the emerging issues globally to take advantage of it. The skills will be acquired in the various institutions, but if you close your mind and close your ears to what is emerging and what surrounds your environment, I don't think you can make it. What you are also open to change and understand how to work hard to attain better results in chosen fields of study and profession. Mentoring programs might be one of the most valuable, simple initiatives for us to readily support ourselves by simply facilitating connection. Young individuals can find outlets for personal growth and support your professionals. Recently, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, set up $100 million package to fund the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan. This plan is an initiative by the government aimed at supporting young entrepreneurs. And what we are trying to do is to make sure that you grow in your businesses. I believe this flagship program should not just be a bank for financial support, but also be initiative for professional mentorship program that will guide and support young innovators and entrepreneurs. My ministry, the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, will also soon establish the Ghana Innovation and Research Commercialization Center, which we simply put as GEC Center, which will support programs that will link research to industry. I think what you are not getting out here is that currently we are experiencing a gap. You are in your numerous institutions developing your knowledge and skills, but you don't know how to convert these skills into production or productive activity. And that is the gap that we have identified, and we are solving it by establishing this center as an incubation center, at the same time as a commercialization center for what has already the research outputs that are all over the country, but we don't know how to apply these research outputs. We are also establishing a fund to ensure that we can actually whip up the interest of students, especially the female students, to show much interest in science, technology, engineering, and innovative ways of doing things. To ensure that the government will be properly directed and ensure that the 1% R&D fund that will be established to propel the use of technology, science, and innovative ways of doing things. We're also in the process of establishing a presidential advisory council for science, technology, and innovation. And these are eminent scientists that have been identified to advise the president. Why are we doing so? We have a number of capital, human capital littered all over the world. We even have more Ghanaians in NASA. We have Ghanaians who are doing all kinds of things around the globe. And what are we lacking? What we need to do is to bring them over to ensure that with the presidency will be properly directed to ensure that we use technology advancement to promote economic growth. You have a future, my dear ladies, my dear students. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some who are not students here who are still young but have a potential. You have a future. What we need to do now is to direct your future to adopting the right way to go. The first thing to do is to examine yourself. Build up your confidences. Make sure that you can never put yourself down. Change mindsets, because I believe that there are quite a number of us here who believe that maybe occupying an office somewhere in the structure is the way to go. We've enumerated a number of, or we've come up with a number of initiatives through agriculture. Have you examined yourself? What can I do with all these product enhancement programs? You have the technological know-how, you have the brains to turn all these things into money. And if we want to build our country in the next future, there's also one thing that the ministry has identified. And the ministry says that we are importing all kinds of equipment into the country for manufacturing purposes. But we don't even have the foundry to even fabricate things like bolts and nuts to support these everything has to be imported. It is a very wrong approach. We can ensure that our young scientists, our young entrepreneurs can come up, learn these things, set up these factories for us to move our enhanced industrialization program forward. It is my expectation that at our gathering today, and beyond, would not be just another forum for talk, but a platform for young realists to put forward even more innovative ideas and initiatives to charter a new course for the next generation. I would like to remind you, at the beginning of the program, we sang our national anthem. Please, when you wake up in the morning, go over it. We want to make our nation great and strong. Our fathers have already performed their part. We, as the young generation, what are we doing? It is encouraging you to be humble, to make sure that you have built up a strong personality to take up the challenge in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Please, you can do it better. Please, let's put our hands together for ourselves. All right, so I think we are done, but then I would like to call my brother here, Mr. Akwesi. Is that Mr. Akwesi, please, are you here? All right, please join me here. Please, let's put our hands together for him. He's got some few words for us. When it's done, we would move straight to a panel discussion. Yeah, so.
All right, thank you very much, Michael MC. Right from here, we are going now to take a group photograph with our minister and then our high table members, because this day must be remembered, true of us. Exactly. After the group photograph, we'll come back and have the panel discussion. The first panel discussion is Africa Beyond Corruption. And it is an interesting one. As young people, we are developing ourselves to meet the leadership roles of tomorrow. and how can we make sure that we get there with a clean mind and with a mindset that is devoid of corruption. I thought you were going to put your hands together, that we think it is a major canker for us and we have to tackle it in our own way. But before we do that, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister for sharing with us wonderful thoughts and also giving us the assurance and hope that anytime we call upon you, we would get something good from you. Thank you so much for the good words that you've shared with us and the resources that we've also gained from you. Also would like to thank the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities. When he took over office, he's been so much open to the youth on the continent. And so last year we had African Research and Innovation Summit, where we also brought together young people to this same auditorium, and we discussed issues concerning research and the gap between industry and academia. And I think we need to put our hands together for Professor Etienne Ehile, who is the Secretary General of the AAU and an Ivorian citizen as well. Thank you, Prof. And we know that with you, we would enjoy such wonderful packages to groom the next top leaders for Africa. We also would like to thank Dr. Makuku, who is the quality assurance expert here at the Association of African Universities. Doc, thank you so much for being on the high table for us. And next to be appreciated is the Director for ICT, Knowledge Services, and ICT Services and Knowledge Management, in the person of Ms. Nodomo Dlamini, who has given us support in terms of programming for this event. We can put our hands together for our members on the high table. Thank you so much for supporting us through. I would not yet thank our resource persons, our panelists who are going to lead us through the entire period, but I know that as we progress, we are going to have wonderful packages from them. And so we know that we are in good hands and this event is going to be successful. Thank you very much. I don't know if I've done what you called me to do. All right, thank you.
All right, so we would like to take our photograph now. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwesi. Okay, so I would like everyone here to join us here. Oh, should go out there? Yes, please let's join our resource persons here so we'll take a very nice photograph for them. Okay. It's supposed to be a rememberable...